Okay, so basically this video is going to be a response to some of the different messages I get from various Hebrew Israelites who, for some reason unknown to me, decide to leave messages on my various videos. Okay, so first things first. One of the comments that I get a lot from Hebrew Israelites is a quote that they usually use. I think it's one of their proof texts about their particular concept. And they usually go to, I guess in the English it's called Deuteronomy 28. Specifically, one recent Hebrew Israelite said Deuteronomy 28:68 and asked me to explain it. This is someone who I told, we don't go by the same text, so obviously we're not talking about the same thing, and obviously we wouldn't come to the same conclusions. Okay, so this first slide is actually a picture of one of the oldest Hebrew texts, you could say, of this particular group of the Torah, and this is from the Aleppo Codex. This particular text shows you that what's called Devarim, it's not called Deuteronomy for us, for Israelim and Yehudim. For us, the text is called Devarim, first and foremost. So for Devarim 28:68, as you can see, as I've marked it here, it's obviously different than the text that the Hebrew Israelites use. And the specific reason can be because the Hebrew Israelite text says that I guess the people who they consider to be Hebrew Israelites will be sold into slavery, in Egypt for them is America. As you can see from this text, from the text of the Aleppo Codex, that there's no mention of America, there's only a mention of Mitzrayim. There's no mention of the people being sold into slavery. The text actually says, if you look at this word that's highlighted here, that they will sell themselves into slavery, and then it says that no one will buy them. והשיבךו אדוני מצרים בעיניות בדרך אשר אמרתי לכו לא תציב עוד לירותו והתמרכתם שם ליובכו לעבודים לשפחות ואין גונה. Okay, so now concerning specifically what the actual wording actually says, right now I'm also showing a slide of the Samaritan Torah, which, one of the things that Hebrew Israelites usually who contact me try to claim is that I'm using Yiddish, even though everyone who knows anything knows that Yiddish is not a script, it's a dialect. But just to, I guess, show the Hebrew Israelites who have this comment that what they're saying is incorrect, I've shown the Samaritan Torah, which you can see it's written in a form of Hebrew that most people would agree is an ancient script of Hebrew. So let's go through and read the text. And basically it says that you'll be brought back there. I mean, it says on the way that Moshe showed. So unless African Americans were brought to America several thousand years ago and then brought back again, which every historian from West Africa doesn't say that it happened in the way the Hebrew Israelites claim. As you can see, there's no connection in the text to that specific situation. And I mean, once again, this is just their thing. So if their text says something different, you have to admit that this is obviously a different text. And once again, if Hebrew Israelites keep claiming this script is somehow Yiddish, even though there's nothing Yiddish about it, obviously we're not talking about the same text. Now, what's important to note about this particular section is the word "hit markatem." This word basically is hitpa'el. Hitpa'el means that it's something reflexive. So it's like saying, okay, the shoresh, as you see pointed out in this slide, is makar. Makar means to sell. But wahith kartem means that you will sell yourselves. Sham le'yovecho. So it's saying in that place, basically after you've been taken to Egypt, you'll sell yourselves to people. And what it says in the last part is wa'en koneh. They won't buy. So as you can see, this has no connection whatsoever to the institutionalized slavery of West African people in America, because they didn't sell themselves and they were bought. They weren't not bought by people. And as we can see, the text mentions nothing about America. It says Mitzrayim, which is what people will call Egypt. Okay, so this brings me to another comment another Hebrew Israelite made concerning Yirmiyahu. I think it's 14:2. For him, it's Jeremiah because he's going by an English text. Okay, so basically, this particular text is dealing with the issue of Yehuda, the region of Yehuda or the Shevet Yehuda, mourning over a particular situation, and this person claims that this proves that the people of Yehuda were dark-skinned people or black, as he uses it in his text, because of the word kodvuru. Now, what's interesting to note here is that there's no mention of skin color anywhere in this text. This text is not talking about skin color at all. It's basically talking about a particular situation. And how do we know that? If we start in the first part of it, which says, Asher hoyo devar Adonai al Yirmiyahu al divrei habatzoroth ov lo Yehuda ushoreho umalelo kodhuru lo arat v'simchat Yerushalayim alotho. Okay, in this section, you can see that I have three different little boxes that are around different parts of the text. The reason for this is to show from this text that the kadru, the blackness that's being talked about, has nothing to do with the people of Yehuda or the tribe of Yehuda. The red part says Avlu Yehuda. Now there's two dots that you see on the far left side. It's of that particular box. It's over the second to last letter. That means that that's a pause. That means that there's a stop right after those two words. So that means that Avlu Yehuda is considered one statement. So that's the mourning of Judah, the mourning of Yehuda. The next one in the blue, Ushuroeho Lelu. Now that's talking about the gates of Yehuda's gates, which is plural, basically being in a state of wailing, and also of kadru, which is in the yellow, being of blackness. Now what's interesting here is the kadru and the umlalu are plurals, which means that they can only be modifying a plural noun, which is ushoreho. So what this means is that the gates of Yehuda are the ones that are blackened, not the people of Yehuda themselves. Now, even if we were to accept the Hebrew Israelite position on this, we would be able to look and see that anyone who wasn't black wouldn't be able to match up with the description that they say that this gives, because as we know, brown and black and light brown and black are not the same color. So as we can see, this just doesn't make sense in terms of an explanation, and according to the actual Hebrew text itself. Further, I'd like to point out that the word or the term Hebrew Israelite, of course, is not the same as Yisraeli or Yehudi. So obviously, we're not talking about the same people or the same terminology. Obviously, the Hebrew Israelite translations, which I think most Hebrew Israelites consider King James to be a Hebrew Israelite himself, so obviously I don't consider that, and nobody in my family does. So we're obviously not Hebrew Israelites. As you can see, we're not talking about the same text, we're not talking about the same culture, the same even location probably, because I don't see Hebrew Israelites actually coming to the Middle East and claiming this to be their land, and actually standing up for it. And this is that people who are Hebrew Israelites are, for me, a different group of people with a different group of text, a different group of understandings, a different history than the history that I come from, the history of my family, and others who are like me. So this will be an explanation for those of you who are Hebrew Israelites who see my videos and who make some general comments.